Hello everyone, welcome to another Facebook Live. Michelle Gregg here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And you can find my blog at www.stampmichelle.com. How is everybody tonight? Let me just see if I can find you. Make sure I'm going live in the right place. I can't actually see. Oh yes, there we are. We're live, although I'm not sure if anyone's here yet. So if you're here, please pop into the comments, say hi, let me know that you're here. Hi Di, how you going? Yeah, we'll just give it a couple of minutes for everyone to, or everyone who's planning to join us, to find us and come on. So how has everyone's week been? Here we are. What is it? The 31st of January? Is that what it is? Yes, 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. I can't believe we're at the end of January already. It's the second month of the year tomorrow. What happened to January? It just goes by so fast. The kids are back to school. Not my kids. My kids are too old to be at school now. But yeah, the kids that are school age are all back at school here in Victoria, and before we know it, it'll be term one will be over, and we'll be, you know, Easter, and no, I don't want to make the year to go too fast, but yeah, it's just flying by. I can't believe how quick it's going. Hi Sue, hi Sonia. Oh, that's a task that I'm happy to leave to you, Sue. Yes, invoicing, not my favourite thing to do. All those end of the month things that you have to do, right? End of month, end of year, and then you do the end of the month stuff, and then the next day it's the start of the month stuff. So it seems to be never ending. Hi Mel. Okay, so we're not only are we at the end of January, but we're halfway through Sale-a-bration. So if you haven't heard of Sale-a-bration before, Stampin' Up's biggest promotion or sale of the year. So it runs for January and February. And in this little brochure here is heaps of goodness that you can earn free with a qualifying order. So lots of different things here. There's stamp sets, there's pattern paper, ribbon, embellishments. So tonight we're going to be using the Most Adored Designer Series Paper, which is this beautiful paper under here, which I'll show you in a minute. So this you can earn free when you place a $90 order in Australia for regular product from any of our current line of products. So that includes our annual catalogue, our current mini catalogue, which I'll just let me grab that one out for you. I should have had so this catalogue here, and of course our so I said our annual catalogue, our mini catalogue, our online exclusives, which are products that are only available online, so it just means that they're not represented in any of our catalogues. So you can find them in my online store. So when you order any of those to the value of $90, you can get to choose some of these, choose one of the items from this catalogue. And then as you get towards the back, so we have the tool ones there, then these ones starting from page 12, I know, so this stamp set's free with a $90 order, but you can actually get the coordinating dies free with a $180 order. So as you work your way through the catalogue, there is some more expensive items that you get free with a bigger order. So with some embossing folder there, and then of course we have our fabulous joining special for during Sale-a-bration, which is this glass mat studio, which I showed you showcased just before Christmas, which has, you know, a range of things with it, a silicone palette and a chamois, and plus a large glass grid sort of mat. And you can get that free when you join during January and February, or just in February now because we're nearly finished January. So so that's Sale-a-bration, a very quick whip through Sale-a-bration. Hi Lynette, hi Jeanette, a bit rhyming there. So this is, tonight I'm going to be featuring this paper. So of course we're only a couple of weeks out from Valentine's Day. Now I don't know whether you celebrate Valentine's Day, whether you make, you know, treat boxes or gifts or cards for Valentine's Day. You know, I know when my kids were at school, I used to do a lot, you know, especially in primary school, not in high school, because I, you know, God forbid I should embarrass them when they were in secondary school. But, you know, in primary school, you know, they used to take along little treat gifts for the other kids in their class and for their teachers and those sort of things. I usually make a Valentine's Day card for my hubby. But, you know, I don't generally, you know, these days do a lot of Valentine's Day stuff. But I have to say, I absolutely adore this paper. Most adored is a very appropriate name for it. So first of all, I love the colours. So, you know, pink and red, and on the other side, of course, we have gold and white. What, you know, typical girly colours, and great for making girl projects. They don't have to be Valentine's Day projects. So let me just give you a quick flick through the paper. So we have this one here with the hearts, and then the checks. Of course, I love anything with a gingham or a check pattern on it. This one we have just red and white hearts. This one in the Flirty Flamingo Real Red are the coordinating colours, along with gold and white. And I don't know whether you can see in this paper, it has a bit of a mottled sort of look to it, so it's not sort of consistently one colour across the whole page. So that's not a mistake, it's actually supposed to be like that. And it's got those sort of very subtle hearts made out of, you know, sort of like a little wreath heart. Again, another check in the, or almost a tartan, I suppose, in the red, and then a marbly sort of swirl pattern, which reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream, even though we haven't got the chocolate part in there. But, you know, it does remind me quite a lot of ice cream. And then on the reverse side, we have these beautiful gold patterns. And so I think this is part of what makes this paper so versatile, because it does have, you know, patterns on patterns on both sides, but patterns particularly on this side that are not love, heart, Valentine Day sort of related. So we've got flowers on this side, and I don't know if you can see that beautiful gold foil. Again, a swirly one, which matches the sort of this pink swirly one, but we have it in gold. Again, the sort of gingham or checked pattern. Another floral one, but with flowers that are slightly bigger. And if you are up to fussy cutting, this would be one where you could fussy cut those flowers out. We have this one, which has these beautiful hearts, and I think it's out of the gold ones, my most favourite one in this pack. You know, one where you can, you know, you could get 6 card fronts out of this, just cut it down the middle, and then, you know, into your, you know, your card front size. And because you get 2 of those in a pack, you would get 12 cards with that beautiful sort of heart, sort of decreasing, you know, small hearts or less hearts at the top, more hearts at the bottom. And of course, because it's white, you could actually use your blending brushes or your brayer, and you could just add colour to this and make it whatever colour you want, which is true for all of these papers. And then just this sort of gold brush sort of stroke one. So a really beautiful paper. So this is one of the ones that you can choose for free with a $90 order. And it does coordinate with, I'm just going to see if I should have marked my pages, but I forgot to do that. I was in a bit of a rush beforehand. So let me see. It coordinates with the Adoring Hearts bundle, which is on page 18 of this catalogue. So let me just find that for you. So this is the one of the hybrid type bundles that has both a embossing folder and a stamp set, and some not an embossing folder. I'm really getting confused here. So yes, it does. It has an embossing folder, a stamp set, and coordinating dies that will cut out all of these hearts. And I don't know if you can see, let me just bring that a little bit closer. I don't actually have this bundle, so I'll just bring that up a bit closer to the camera so that you can see these hearts, which are actually, you get that impression from your embossing folder, and then you can cut it out with the coordinating dies. But you'll see you get those beautiful embossed impressions on your cardstock. So if you, I think it was maybe my first, not sure whether it was my first live back, no, maybe just before Christmas, I did one using the Thoughtful Moments hybrid folder. So if you want to see how they work, you can pop back to that here on my page and have a look at the replay of that. But that coordinates with this paper. So, you know, if you're looking for something that goes with it, so if you were to buy that bundle, then you would qualify to get this paper for free. Okay, so let's move on to the project. So tonight I thought I'm still getting back into the crafting mode. I only went back to work last week, and I went last weekend, the long weekend, the Australia Day weekend. We went up to the lake for the weekend, so I wasn't live last week. Yeah, so I'm still finding my way back into my craft room. So forgive me if I'm a bit all over the shop, because I'm still finding my way. It's amazing how much you can forget after you haven't done a live for a few weeks. You know, I think I did my last live about the middle of December, and then I've done one since Christmas. And you just sort of think to yourself, how could I forget something that I do every week? How all of a sudden is it that I don't actually know what I'm doing, or feel like I don't know what I'm doing? All right, so I'm starting out with a basic white card base, so just half an A4 sheet, regular size, and I'm using the thick white because I always use, when I'm making my card base out of the white, the basic white, I always just go for the thick one. I just it's personal preference. I actually just like that little bit of extra weight, and I'm just going to score that in half at 10.5 centimeters. So we're just going to have a regular left folding card there. And then I have another piece, also of thick white, which is 15 centimeters by 13, I think. Let me just check that. 13.4 centimeters. So 13.4 by 15. So on the 15-inch side, I'm going to score it at 5 centimeters and 10 centimeters. So I'm going to make 3 5-centimeter panels. So you can see, we can see those score lines there in the camera. Away. And now we're just going to take my bone folder, and we're going to make a valley fold first, and then we're going to fold that one back on itself. So we're sort of accordion folding it. Just going to give it a burnish on those lines. So we have like a Z fold. Okay, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to be making what version of a swing card. So if you've ever seen me make those before, this is a version of a swing card, but it's actually called a pop-out swing card. So it's got just a little bit of a twist. So what did everybody get up to for the long weekend, the Australia Day weekend? Did you celebrate Australia Day? Have some lamb, throw some shrimps on the barbie? I know we had a beautiful lamb barbecue on Australia Day. We're up at the lake. It was the weather wasn't so great. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was, you know, it was a little coolish, and we had some rain, lots of rain on the first day that we were up there. But after that, you know, it picked up and it was sort of intermittent cloud and sun. Wasn't as warm as I would have liked. So I've just cut a piece of this sort of gingham check looking one with the hearts on the back. And I'm actually just going to add that to the front of the card. So let me know, pop into the comments and let me know what you did on the Australia Day weekend, whether you celebrated or I know not everybody these days celebrates Australia Day, or we all do it in different ways. So I'm just adding some stamp and seal to the back of that, and I'm actually only going to put it around the outside of this piece of paper. I'm not going to put any in the middle, and that's because I'm going to be cutting a window out of this. So you'll see why. All will be revealed when I get a little bit further into the card, but I don't put any adhesive in the center. So I actually wanted to make, like I said, I'm making a Valentine's Day card, but I didn't want to make it sort of too over the top. So now I'm just looking for my stamp set, which seems to have disappeared. How could it disappear? I only had it here a minute ago. Goodness me. Give me a minute while I find my stamp set. Well, it looks like, for some reason, my stamp set has disappeared. But lucky I've already got the stamp out, but I'm using the Circle Sayings stamp set. So let me see if I can find that in the catalogue, because I can't actually find the stamp set. So I'll find it in here so I can show you which one I'm using. Where's my... so this is from the annual catalogue. Lucky I pre-mounted my stamps, otherwise I would have been in trouble. So I'm using this stamp set here from our annual catalogue. So been around for a little bit, sort of was new to the catalogue in May last year. And I'm going to be using this stamp here. So that stamp set has a coordinating punch, which is this 2 3/8 inch circle punch here. Unfortunately, for this particular project, I can't actually use the coordinating punch, because what I want is I want to cut a window right in the center of my card. Now, if I use the punch, I can't actually get into the center of the card because of the depth. You know, it just won't allow me to get right into the center. And I could pop it in this way, but it doesn't come down far enough either. So I had this design in my head and I thought, oh yes, I'm going to make that. And then when I actually came to make it, I thought, well, that's not going to work. I can't use the coordinating punch. So what I had to do was go off and find a circle that would work with my image. So I've just got one of the a circle die from a retired set, which is actually the layering circle. Now I know lots of you have that, and if you don't, I'm sure you have a circle die of some sort. But the other thing is, it doesn't have to be a circle. It can be any shape. window. So we're just going to be cutting that in the front of the card there, and that can be any shape that you want. It could be a square, could be a rectangle, could be a you know, a decorative sort of label shape. It doesn't really matter, but you will need to have to do it with a die, because if you do it with a punch, you won't actually be able to get it in the center of your card. So I'm just going to grab my die cutting machine. So I'm just going to bring that in under the camera. Hopefully that's not too close. So like I said, before I do that, let's just do this here. I'm actually just going to center that in the middle of my card, but a little bit towards the top. So not right in the center. And I'm just going to use a bit of tape just to hold that in place, because I don't want it to move. Then I'm just going to feed that through just like that. I'd love to be able to zoom out, but I can't actually do that in my live. So I'm going to do some more die cutting while I'm here. So I'll just pop this to the side for the moment. Down on the floor. Okay, so we're just going to pull that off. So as you can see then, this is the reason why I don't put adhesive in the center, because now I have these two pieces, and I'm going to be using this white piece, and this piece of DSP I can save for a project later. Whereas if I'd put adhesive on the back in the middle there, I wouldn't have been able to separate these two. I'm just going to put that to the side. Well, that sounds like you had a busy Australia Day weekend, Jeanette. So you're selling your caravan. Is that because you have a new one, or you don't have a use for it anymore? All right, so I have now my my Celebrate image, greeting. And I'm going to just ink that up in, I'm using real red. And I'm just going to make sure I don't get my head in the camera while I center this. Not too bad. The other thing you might have noticed here is that I have used one of the labels down the left hand side of my ink pad there. So when you first get your ink pads, you will have a set of labels on the back, which you actually peel off and put on the end of your stamp pads, so that you know what color it is when you've got it. If you've got them stacked in, like this in your shelving, then you can see what color it is. There's also a blank one that you can, if you really want to, I don't do it, but you can, will actually fit inside this channel here. So when your stamp pad is open, excuse me, you know what color it is. But I don't put that one in there. What I've started doing is, because they're in several different languages, and so there's always ones there that we don't use, I've actually started using the ones with the other languages down the side of my stamp pad, so that when it is open, and I've got several of them open on my work surface, I can actually see quickly what color it is, so that I don't mistakenly ink up with the wrong color. So I thought, they're just on the back, they're wasted, I'm not going to use them for anything else, so I thought, I'll just pop them on there. And I've actually found it really helpful. So a little tip for you there. I must have had a dirty plate, got a bit of a mark there on my card. All right, so now I'm actually going to use, I'm using just a few different dies tonight from different sets. So I'm using this heart here, which is from the Radiating Stitches set. And that's this die set here. And it's one of our online exclusives. So, you know, if you pop over into the online store, you can actually see this one there. So it has a number of frames with those radiating stitches, a couple of circles, and this very cute heart. And I'm going to die cut a couple of those, one from Real Red and one from Flirty Flamingo. I can find some scrap Flirty Flamingo. Giving you a few organisation tips tonight. So I don't know about you, but I have lots and lots of leftover scraps. And I found that, you know, I was looking for a long time, I'd been looking for a way to store them. I'd put them in with my full card packs and then I didn't use them. So I ended up just getting some A5 plastic pockets. This one's a bit manky now. And I just label them at the top and I store them all, you know, one after the other in rainbow order in a container, and then whenever I need a scrap for something, I just go to this and I pull them out. So it's been really good for actually making me use up my scraps. All right, so I'm also going to be cutting a label, and I'm going to be using this die here, which is from the hot air balloon dies, which are a bundle in our new January to April catalogue. So I'm just going to pop both of those on there. I'm going to cut a heart and a label. These plates are really quite disgusting. I think I need to get a new set of plates. And now I need to just grab another scrap to cut just another heart in the red. So I've had a bit of a busy day today here. So I had my youngest son, Sam, home for the day. In fact, I had a card class here last night, and just when we were getting started on the last card, he phoned me from basketball. He was out playing basketball with his team to say he was on his way to the hospital. So he had dislocated his shoulder quite badly, and so after card class was finished, I had to drive to the hospital and then drive with my partner to the basketball stadium to pick up his car, and then go back to the hospital and bring him home. And now he's home from work for the next 3 weeks. I think he's not allowed to work for 3 weeks. So and of course he's got his arm in a sling, so he's not able to move it. So I think they actually gave him, they put him under anaesthetic to put it back in last night. And so he wasn't really feeling a lot of pain last night when I picked him up, but by this morning he was in a lot of pain. So all of my plans for doing a whole lot of things today sort of went out the window because I needed to assist him with most things today. So and doctor has told him that he can't go back to work for 3 weeks. So I think that hopefully he'll be out of the sling in a week or so, and he'll be able to do things for himself. But it's just threw me out a bit today. Yeah, so now I'm just putting my heart in the middle of that. Now I'm going to bring back the that Z mechanism that I scored earlier, and I've already gone ahead and cut some of the red heart DSP, and I'm just going to pop that on there. But just before I do that, I'm actually going to do some stamping on this side. And I always like to do my stamping before I put on my designer series paper, if possible, in case I mess it up, and then, you know, I would probably discard that and start with a new piece, or, you know, work away, you know, turn it over or work away to cover it up. But I always find that it's just a bit easier if I do the stamping first, and then before I stick the pattern paper on. Sometimes it's not possible, you know, you've made your card and you're doing it inside stamping, but here I can actually manage that. So I'm actually just using the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment, and that comes from the Be My Valentine bundle that's available in the January to April mini catalogue. Let me just, oops, that was, try and stamp that straight. So, I mean, you could stamp anything you wanted to in there. You just want to make sure it's obviously a stamp that's going to fit inside that 5 centimetre panel. Yes, no, it isn't. It isn't good dye. He was starting to freak out a bit today because, you know, 3 weeks off work, and he was he's, you know, he's not good at staying still. So that's a challenge for him, and but also, you know, not working for 3 weeks, and he's, you know, he's only, you know, he's only a 2nd year apprentice, so I don't think he has a lot of sick leave up, so going to be a bit of a challenge for him, I think. So I've also just used the stamped with the little hearts here also from the Be My Valentine, and I'm just going to go ahead now and adhere that designer series paper. Oops. So I've just cut this, I think, to about, I think it's 4.5 centimetres by 13, just to give me that narrow border around the outside. Getting to the end of my tape, I think. So I see we're going to saw the weather tonight, so we've got, looks like we've got some warm weather coming for this weekend. So it's hardly, I can't believe we've hardly had a summer. It's been quite cold, and, well, cold for summer, and wet, and now this weekend it's going to be super hot. It's like we're either getting one or the other. Okay, so now that I've done that little bit, I'm going to pop this little heart just in the corner there, and I'm just going to adhere that flat with a bit of liquid glue. So now we'll bring back in our card base. And I've also cut a piece of the that one in the pale flirty flamingo with the hearts, and I'm just going to pop that in the back there. So that's a 10 by 14.4 centimetre piece. I can't adhere this one with liquid glue, just because that stamp and seal is running out, I think. Okay, so now we're just going to take this panel here and we're going to attach that to the inside of the card. There's a couple of things that you could do here. You can line that right up with the edge of your card, or you can line it up with the edge of the designer series paper, or you can just put it a little way in if you like. So I'm just going to have it with just a couple of millimetre border there. I just want a little bit of that pretty paper showing right there on the right hand side. So you want to make sure that it's opening, our mountain fold is the one on the left. You want it to be opening like that. You don't want it to be, you don't want it this way. You don't want it opening out. And because it's a bit of a pop-up, I'm actually going to use some of the Seal Plus, just so that we've got an adhesive that's just a little bit stronger. You could use tear and tape here as well. And I'm just going to turn that, make sure I've got that opening the right way. I'm just going to turn that sideways just so that I can. So make sure that you've got an even sort of distance top and bottom. And just get that relatively straight there. So there we have our sort of pop-up mechanism. It's really just a accordion fold there. So now we're just going to close the card, and our circle is going to fit right in there, and it should fit perfectly because we cut it out of there. So I'm just going to, with that closed, I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals in through the window. So we want to make sure we're only adhering on this half of your accordion fold. And the way to make sure that you don't have adhesive where you don't need it is to do it with the card closed. And then you'll make sure that you're lining it up perfectly inside of that window. Close there now. We're just going to line that up. Okay. So then when we open up our card, we have our pop out here, and then when we close it up, it fits perfectly inside of our window. So when you can stand it up, you can leave it so that the circle sort of sits, I don't know if you can see that, sort of inside the window, so that will, you know, help keep that pop-up open if you want to, and then it will just pop out. And you can decorate the back there if you'd like. You know, you could stamp or put designer series paper on that, or you could just use that for writing. I don't like to do a lot of writing inside cards. I never know what to say. So for me, this little panel here is enough to do the writing that I want to do. But if you wanted to add some extra, and you're someone who likes to write a lot in their cards, then you could write on the back there. Okay, so now we're just going to finish decorating the front. So here's the label that we cut earlier. Now I'm just going to cut some letters, and I'm going to use the new mini alphabet die from the mini catalogue. And I love this die because, you know, all of the letters are together on one die. So you can just run it through once and you have all of your letters. Now, I know that also can be, I find it's a benefit. A lot of people don't like that because, you know, you've got, when you run it through, you've got the whole lot and you only need a few letters. So there's a couple of ways that you can get around that. So you can either just, like I said, run it through in one sheet. So you would just take a, you know, sort of a quarter card piece of cardstock and run that through your die cutting machine, and you would then cut out the whole lot. And I do that for the colours that I use a lot, so black, white, a couple of other colours, crumb cake. I would actually just run that through and I would have a supply of, keep them in a Ziploc bag of all the different letters. Or alternatively, if you just want a few, and in this case I just want the word love, I would just use some of my scraps and just lay them over the letters that you want. And I would put this through my die cutting machine face up, so with your cutting side up, so that you can see where your letters are. So I've got the L's are in here, so I'll pop that over there. And then the V is down here, and there's an E here, and there's one there. So you could either go with a, you know, with a one that size that's going to get your L's and your E, and then just one down here that's going to do the V. So just let me grab my die cutting machine again. So this one, I believe, will fit through your mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss if you have one. Just let me measure that. So yep, that will fit through the mini. But given that I've got my large one out, I'll just use that. So I'm just going to pop this one over the L and the E here, and then just down over the V on here. So you can actually see all of that. But if you do it with your cutting side facing up, then you can be sure that you're actually going to cut out the letters that you need. So you can see there I've got my E and my L. Then, oh, my V's still in the die. And then I have there's a couple of extra letters there that, you know, you can put aside and use for something else. Now again, I know I always forget to do this, but you could, L, what happened to my O? Where's the O? It's all right, I have a spare one here. You could attach some adhesive sheet to the back of your cardstock before you run your die through, so then you can just peel that off the back and attach it to your card. But of course I always forget to do that bit. Always remember to do it after I've cut it out. So in this case I'm just going to put a bit of liquid glue on the back. And I've got my trusty little fine tip glue container that I've decanted some of the multi-purpose liquid glue into this. that just helps me control the amount I'm putting. I only just need a little bit. So I'm just going to bring back in my label and my tweezers. Good thing about liquid glue is going to give you a couple of seconds to, might not have got that super straight, but the other thing about this alphabet is I like it because it's sort of, what did someone say to me the other night at class, last night? Cartoony. So it's, you know, like it's not like a square sort of typeface. I've got a bit of glue on that, but just wait till that's dry and then I'll get it off. So, you know, if you get it off center a little bit, it doesn't show so much. So now we're just going to pop some dimensionals on the back of that. I do not know what happened to that stamp set. It's just, I keep looking around while I'm here crafting and I cannot see it anywhere. Right, so we're just going to pop that. Just make sure we're even there. Okay, and just to finish off, I've got the coordinating punch to the Be My Valentine bundle here, which has the little heart in there. So rather than do a regular, you know, one of our rhinestones or a regular embellishment, I'm just going to punch out a couple of hearts. One from the white, one from the red. You could stick those on with a bit of liquid glue or a mini glue dot. Just pop those just up the top there. Okay. I need to get my adhesive remover because that is annoying me. So we don't carry these in the catalogue anymore, but I've had one of these for years and it is like an old piece of desert boot. Remember the old desert boots from years and years ago? That's really great for getting off adhesive art where it's in places that you don't want it. So there you go, there's our pop out swing card using the beautiful Most Adored Designer Series paper. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that card. So there it's and again, like I said before, this could be any shape window that you like. So whatever, you know, whatever shape dies that you've got, as long as you use the negative piece that comes out, or if you want a different color, if you punch it using the, die cut it using the same die, and make sure it fits inside of that window. And make sure when you stick it down that you do it through the window so that you get it perfectly positioned. Then you're good to go. So I know how well you can see that in the camera standing up there, but yeah, I mean, it's a great card for displaying as well. So, you know, you can display both the inside and the outside. And there you go. So that's it for me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that you will give the pop out swing card a go. And if you do, send me a photo or pop onto the page and put one in the comments. I'd love to see what you do with this fold. Okay, so have a good week, everybody, rest of the week, and a great weekend, and hopefully I will see you back here same time, same place next Wednesday at 8 p.m. So stay healthy and safe, and I'll see you all soon. Okay, bye bye.